Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll show you some useful ways to combine colored pencils with alcohol-based markers. There are several limitations in using either markers or pencils alone, but when combined together we can achieve even better result than using them alone. Alcohol-based markers has some advantages over colored pencils. They can be used to cover large areas far easier than colored pencils. They don't damage the tooth of the paper and they have better color vibrancy in general. But they are not light fast, so they may fade over time and they don't blend as perfectly as colored pencils do. So all these features make them a great tool for making an underpainting, over which we can use colored pencils for fine detailing, smoother blending and better light fastness. So today I am going to demonstrate the use of alcohol-based markers along with colored pencils. I'll be drawing a still life subject for easy understanding. I'll show you some techniques that can be used when combining these two media. I have already made an outline of a pear and a bunch of grapes. After drawing the outline, the first step I'm going to do is to fill in the areas with appropriate colors using markers. At this stage, we don't have to worry about getting the exact shade. We just have to pick the most similar color from the available markers. I'm mostly using copic sketch markers and some pro markers. You can use any alcohol based markers. You don't need a brush nib to do this underpainting because you don't have to achieve a perfect blending for the underpainting. We can always use pencils later to correct any mistakes in blending. As you can see, I'm starting off with the yellow color for the pear and I'm using a light orange towards the bottom. Here I'm trying to blend these two colors, but I'm not drawing back and forth so as to get a perfect blend. Just a simple blend of the two colors is only required. I'm also using a darker orange to make it even more saturated. I'm not worried about adding highlights at this moment because we can always use a white pencils to draw highlights later. Since alcohol-based markers don't damage the tooth of the paper, we can use colored pencils over the markers just like using a colored drawing paper. So we can achieve deeper colors and better contrast. For the cut surface of the pear, I'm using a very light yellow color from promarker. It is better to use markers to draw light colors since they look much better. We don't have to use pencils over that again. After making an underpainting for the pears, I'm moving on to the grapes. The grapes are dark bluish purple in color, so I am filling in those areas with a light violet color first. But I will go on top with a darker purple color later. We don't need any skill to make this underpainting. Just pick a matching color and just fill in those areas. We are just staining the paper with appropriate colors so that we can use colored pencils later with ease. Just like I did for the grapes, I'm drawing the leaves with a light and dark green. Notice that I'm not worried about making a perfect blend or details at this stage. I'm just coloring the paper. We can add the highlights, shadows and some fine details when we use colored pencils. Now that the leaves are finished, I'm using a darker purple color to draw the darker parts of the grape. I'm just filling the colors without any blending. The pear I'm drawing has some dots over the surface which are not too prominent. So I am using markers to draw them. So when we add colored pencil layers, they will look less prominent and realistic. Now that finishes the underpainting. Now we can use colored pencils on top to further define the drawing. I'm starting off with the pear. I'm using red and orange pencils to further define the shape and color of the pear. I'm adding the highlights on the pear at this stage. Till now the pear was looking very flat, so we can make it shiny by adding a highlight with white. Since the tooth of the paper is not damaged, we can easily draw with a white pencil on top of even the darkest color. I'm using the white pencil in several layers to make that highlight. Similarly, I'm drawing some details on top of the pear slices too. So once you have completed the underpainting with markers, you only have to use colored pencils to add fine details and to correct any blending mistakes. Now I'll show you how to use pencils to mask some hard edges in the underpainting. I'm drawing this grape so as to get a smooth blend between the shadow and highlights. I'm using a dark purple pencil to color the dark areas and then I'm tapering the pressure towards the highlight to get a smooth transition. I'll show you this grape drawing in real time to get a better idea. Notice that I'm using several blues and purples for making it more realistic, and I'm using a white pencil to further enhance the highlight. When using pencil on top of the markers, we will get a beautiful texture too. For this grape, it will enhance its realism. If you don't want that texture to show, you can always use more layers of colored pencil to smooth that out. So just like this, I have completed this bunch of grapes. Similarly, I'll draw over the leaves with some light and dark green pencils and a white pencil for fine details. This is just the way I am using colored pencil with markers. You can experiment and find your own methods and make even better results. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more art tutorials, time lapses and reviews. And you can follow me on all social media linked below. See you guys later.